Chapter 11. The Ill Fortunes of the Grand Dukes. Seeing how King Zhou put Jiang Huanchu's report aside without reading it, and how he harshly ordered his death, Ji Chang and 2 other dukes were shocked. They immediately knelt down before him. The king's honored as the head, while the ministers are his limbs. To order so rashly the death of a duke without even reading his memorial is cruelty towards a subject, and no one in this court would approve of it. Such an act would disrupt the proper relationship between the king and his ministers. We beg your majesty to reconsider your decision, they pleaded. As they spoke, Bigan spread their petition open on the king's desk, and he had no choice but to read it. Your Grand Dukes of Chengyu, Jichang and Chenghohu, present this petition for the purpose of restoring the country to order by law, eliminating flatterers, rectifying injustices, re-establishing the proper relationships, and ridding the palace of hidden conspirators. We understand that the ancient sage emperors ruled with diligence and good administration, and took no interest in building gorgeous palaces or large gardens. They worked closely with the able and virtuous, but distanced themselves from flatterers. They did not preoccupy themselves with the pleasure of hunting, nor did they indulge in wine and women. They respected only the will of heaven and effortlessly maintained order throughout the nation. All the people enjoyed their work and were content in their daily life. But in contrast, your majesty has achieved nothing praiseworthy since coming onto the throne. You neglect state affairs, trust flatterers, distance yourself from the loyal, and indulge yourself in wine and women. Queen Jiang was virtuous and observed the rites, yet she was cruelly tortured and met a tragic death, while Daji, obscene and lewd, has been favored with the position of queen. The Grand Tutor was unjustly beheaded and loyal ministers were silenced with the burning pillar. You even ordered the death of your own sons, indicating that no fatherly love remains in your heart. We earnestly beseech that you take immediate action to demote Feizhong and Yuhan and behead Daji, so that the whole palace may be cleansed and the whole nation returned to peace and order. Not evading death, your subjects venture to speak frankly, expecting your generous acceptance and swift action. As King Zhou read, he exploded with fury. He tore up the petition and pounded his desk. Take those traitors away and cut their heads off at once, he shouted. As the guards bound up the 3 dukes and pushed them out of the palace, Feizhong and Yohan left the ranks of ministers and knelt before King Zhou. At the risk of offending your majesty, we would like to reveal the true situation. The 4 dukes have committed an unpardonable crime by gravely offending your majesty and should be punished by death. Nevertheless, they're guilty in different degrees. Jiang Huanchu's committed the capital crime of attempting to murder his king. Chengyu's guilty of harshly rebuking his liege. Ji Chang's used his skillful tongue to insult you, while Chenghohu's committed the error of foolishly following the others. As we see it, Chenghohu's loyal at heart. He spent all his energy and time in constructing the star-picking mansion and spared no effort in building the fairy longevity palace. He's faultless and innocent. To fail to differentiate between worthy men and criminals is like burning jade with stone or confusing black with white. This is unjust, and nobody will approve of it. For these reasons, we beg that your majesty spare Chenghohu, so that he can make amends for today's error with outstanding service in the future. As Feizhong and Yohan were both favorites of the king, he granted their request, saying, I haven't forgotten Chenghohu's outstanding service in the past. He's granted a special pardon. Feizhong and Yohan thanked the king and returned to their positions. But the fact that only Chenghohu would be pardoned greatly annoyed Huang Feihu and the other princes. They all left their positions and knelt before the king. We're of the opinion that the dukes and ministers are like the limbs of your majesty. Bigan spoke on their behalf. Jiang Huanchu enjoys great prestige, and is highly respected in East Lu, where he's fought many victorious battles. There's no evidence to prove that he plotted to murder your majesty. How can he be given the death sentence? Ji Chang's loyal, working solely for the nation and people. His virtues please heaven and earth, and his benevolence unites all the dukes. He treats his civil and military officials with righteousness and rules his people in accordance with the rights. Rebels are won over by his wisdom, and he enjoys the trust of both the army and people. His administration's strict and orderly. In his domains the ruler is kind and officials are loyal. Sons are filial and fathers full of paternal love. Brothers are affectionate and respectful. There are neither quarrels nor wars in the dukedom. People are courteous and honest, and no door need be closed at night. He's praised by all as the West Sage. Chongyu guards against the invasions that occur from time to time and serves the country tirelessly. They're all mainstays of the state. We beg that your majesty show pity and forgive them. For this your ministers would be deeply grateful. Jiang Huanchu has committed treason, while Chongyu and Jichang insulted me with a lot of nonsense. They're all unpardonable. How can you speak so rashly and seek to protect them? King Zhou rejected the plea completely. Both Jiang Huanchu and Chongyu are renowned dukes and have committed no errors. Ji Chang's a kind gentleman, skilled at divining. They're all cornerstones of the state. If you execute these 3 innocent men in one day, how can the people and officials approve of your action? Huang Feihu protested. Moreover, they each have strong armies and brave generals. War would be on if the dukes are slaughtered for crimes of which they're innocent. Civil war would bring disasters to the people and endanger the dynasty. In addition, Grand Tutor Wenzhong still tied down in the North Sea district, and there would be no peace for the nation. We beg that you pardon them for the nation's sake. Observing the vehemence of the princes, King Zhou was obliged to yield a little. I know well that Ji Chang's loyal to me. Nevertheless, he shouldn't have echoed the insults. He should be dealt with severely, but in response to your plea, I'll pardon him. Should he stage an uprising against me after returning to his dukedom, however, you'll be held responsible. Notwithstanding, I can't extend the pardon to Jiang Huanchu and Chongyu. They must be executed at once. At this, the 7 supreme ministers headed by Yang Ren and Zhao Ge stepped out from the left line and knelt before the king. Your Majesty, for the sake of national peace, we wish to offer our advice. What is it? On the petition of the 7 princes you've generously forgiven, Ji Chang. But as leaders of marquises, both Jiang Huanchu and Chongyu bear heavy responsibilities and have rendered outstanding services. Their frank advice only shows that they're loyal, seeking to save the nation from disaster. We beg that you take pity on these gentlemen, and with a magnanimity that'll be eulogized by all, set them free and allow them to return to their dukedoms. Yang Ren said, they're traitors and have ganged together and spread vicious lies about me. Even cutting Jiang Huanchu to pieces isn't punishment enough for his attempted murder. It's only proper that Chongyu be decapitated for slandering me. Your petition shows your sympathy with them and is an insult to the king and a violation of law. You shall be dealt the same punishment if you insist on helping them. King Zhou roared furiously and ordered, execute them at once. When the order arrived, one executioner beheaded Chongyu, while several others nailed Jiang Huanchu's hands and feet to a big board and sliced his flesh off in 1,000 pieces. When news came that the execution was over, King Zhou returned to the fairy longevity palace. Ji Chang thanked the 7 princes who had saved his life. Though innocent, Jiang Huanchu met a tragic death, while Chongyu paid with his life for his admonitions. Henceforth, there can be no peace in the south and east of the kingdom, he said, with tears in his eyes. Everyone wept. They ordered the palace guards to bury the 2 corpses in shallow earth, so that they could be exhumed for full funeral rites sometime in the future. The attendants of the 2 dukes fled home under the cover of night and reported the misfortunes to the duke's sons. When King Zhou appeared at the celebration court the next morning, Bigan requested that the corpses be buried and Ji Chang be sent back to his dukedom. The king promptly approved all that Bigan proposed. But as soon as Bigan left the court, Fei Zhong, who was standing beside the king, came forward. Ji Chang appears loyal and honest, but he's really treacherous, and confuses the ministers with his eloquent tongue. He says one thing and thinks another and is unreliable. If you let him return to his dukedom, he's bound to join forces with Jiang Wenhuan in the east and Ashun in the south. They would throw the whole country into chaos, and we would have to send our soldiers and generals to war. The result would be that the people couldn't live in peace and the capital would be endangered. If we send the dragon back to the sea and the tiger back to the mountain, we're bound to regret it. The pardon's already been issued, and everybody knows about it. How can I go back on my word now? King Zhou hesitated. I've got a plan to get rid of Ji Chang. What is it? He's bound to attend a farewell feast before returning to his dukedom. I'll be there to find out where he truly stands. If he's really loyal, you may forgive him and let him go. Otherwise, you may have him executed to nip any future disaster in the bud. Fei Zhang replied. Your idea's excellent.